They probably just ruined one of my favorite novels of all time. 6, 7 days ago, I reacted to the Renegade Immortal Dongwa, and I edited a whole video. It was probably my biggest rant yet, and the Grand Eldritch deities came down and strike me, but it's all good. Since I'm in closed door cultivation, I'm just going to cook up a Grand Eldritch video just so I can post this because Jesus fucking Christ. Now I'm all for adaptations, man. I personally love comic books. You know, before anime or even novels, I was reading comic books when I was like 5 years old, 6 years old. MCU exists now, and then James Gunn got his universe coming out. So I'm all for adaptations, you feel me? I love the adaptations, but come on, man. Let's not make it worse than what it is, man. First of all, let's just get it out of the way. I think all Dongwa animation is trash before we even get into the Renegade Immortal. I'm sorry, I just have to get that out there. All Dongwa animation is trash. Remind me of like the 3D CGI that they be using in anime. I just don't understand. If a Will of Eternal had an anime art style, why would you go to the Dongwa? Is there like some legal reason? And then Beyond the Time Cave got that same stupid Dongwa look, bro. This shit look like Sword and Fairy. Like, am I supposed to play this with a controller? I'm waiting for the press A to play. I'm waiting for it, bro. Like, when is it gonna be my turn to play? Is this a cutscene only game? Like, what is this? Let's just get into the Renegade Immortal Dongwa. When I tell you I've tried to edit in the Renegade Immortal Dongwa into this fucking video multiple times, and I've gotten copyright strike twice. I was supposed to upload 4 days ago, but Jesus fucking Christ, I've had to skim down and remove this video to the T, to the point where I can even show you the bits and pieces of the fucking anime, bro. So please, oh please, go watch the first 6 minutes of the fucking anime so you can be able to understand what I'm even talking about in this video, and hopefully you read Renegade Immortal, and if you haven't, I have a Renegade Immortal review coming out soon, right after this video. Freak the Dongwa art style. Can we please get that animation out? First of all, the Dongwa starts off with Situnan death and how he basically got his soul sealed by the pearl. They showed like 4 elders ganging up on Situnan, because if you remember, I think they never really fully went deep into it, nor do I think in the novel Situnan ever got his get back. He didn't really care for the niggas who really killed him because they was either probably dead. I don't know, bro. I don't remember. I'm trying to think. But that's never happened. If anything, one thing I really hated was that Situnan became a background character, especially after he became revived. Like, he was just like, what happened? I think this is the equivalent of Lin Ming prologue chapter. Not Lin Ming, but if you read Martial World, like the prologue chapter, chapter 0, of when they was telling us the Holy Kingdom, and then like how the Holy Kingdom, or the Holy Land, I think it was getting attacked. That princess, I forgot her name, I'll put her out right here, used the grand spell to seal everybody's soul, and it sucked everybody's soul, all these grand elders inside a cube. And then we go to chapter 1, and then it's Lin and Ming. Oh, he get cut. He's working at a butcher shop. Wait, what is this? What is this cube? Like, why you gotta give it off, bro? Like, come on, bro. Why did the show not tell, bro? Guide me to it. Why you gotta give me it in the prologue chapter? Anyways, you can skim over this. Finally, Arjun said, you know what, let me take this time to actually patch over some plot holes. Or he did the Toriyama and said, you could do whatever you want with the Dongwa / anime. I don't really fucking care. I'm worried about Beyond the Timescape novel, and I'm making this cheddar. But you know what, it could be any of those pathways, or it could be some cultural or technical reason why he didn't even get another anime like a Will of Eternal, but Will of Eternal got an anime. But we don't need to believe it. The main part I really want to talk about here is when it cuts to present day, Wang Lin. Now, let me tell you something about the novel before I even tell you what happened to Dongwa. In the novel, Wang Lin was a pure child. He comes from a village, a mortal village, and everybody loves him. His father's a carpenter. You know, his mom's a normal stay-at-home mom, but since his father's like a really good carpenter, and plus their uncle is a cultivator, he could get their name out there a little bit more, because they're like, oh yeah, your uncle's from that one clan, yeah. So he could be able to sell his stuff a little bit more and at a higher price. So they living lavish in this mortal village. Everybody in this mortal village loved them. Wang Lin's a smart child. You know, he's at home reading books. His father like, you gotta study up, my boy. I remember chapter 1 by heart. He was like, you gotta study up, my boy. You know, the exam's coming soon. The exam's coming soon. And I don't, you know what I mean? You gotta make sure you study. And when I was young, I thought I knew enough and I failed the exams. And then his mom was like, you always talk about this. And then Wang Lin was like, yeah, that's all good. But when fourth Unc coming? Where Unc? Right when he says that, bro, boom, guess who comes through the door? Like, yeah. Well, I'm skipping over stuff. They had dinner and stuff like that while while this whole conversation was happening. But then Unc pussing, yo, yeah, man, I'm here, yada, yada, whoop-de, whoop-de, whoop. They have a normal dinner because Uncle is a cultivator in the family. And you gotta realize that Wang Lin's father is a son of a concubine. Yeah, so like he has a lower status in the Wang family. And that is shown through the family dynamics later on in the novel, but I don't think they talk about this in the anime. Anyways, for Uncle's like, yeah, I also came here for another opportunity, a grand opportunity even. And they're like, yo, what they talking about? What you talking about, twin? They're like, yo, I think, now hear me out, Wang Lin should become a cultivator. I just got a chance to give 2 of my family members a chance to enter the Hengyu sect because they're looking for some mortals with potential. I think Wang Lin got it. He always been a smart boy when he was young. They're like, yo, hold on, he finna be a cultivator? Yo, what's good? Man, father, like, he's finna break dance and he's 70 years old. Like, not 70, bro. Let me stop tripping, bro. He is, you know, he old. Let me just say that, bro. Wang Lin like, yo, why are my parents so happy, bro? Who's cultivators, bro? And then he like, yo, father, who are these cultivators? And he like, listen, Wang Lin, these are the cultivators that fly in the air on flying swords and they can sheathe the mountains, bro. He think you could be one of those? Let's get it. Mother happy too, bro. No worries. Remember that. No worries. Everybody in the village like, yo, Wang Lin finna be a cultivator. Yo, Wang Lin finna be a cultivator. I'm jealous. They keep bringing him gifts. Bro, Wang Lin, look at his father. Like he lightened up by 10 years, bro. He walking different, bro. He walking with confidence and with stride, bro. Like, come on, bro. They was proud. Let's talk about the Dongwa. The Dongwa starts off sort of like the novel. Wang Lin coming home, you know, reading his Taoist scriptures, entering the house. You know, the house, it doesn't look like they living lavish. I didn't see the village. I'm a little worried. Now, instantly my heart sinks. What is happening here? They're looking like they ain't living lavish. He was selling his clay sculptures at a higher price. They was well off in the village. It didn't necessarily look like they was well off, and the ChatGPT looking art doesn't help, but that's besides the point. You know, they're not talking about the exams, or at least I don't remember. I forgot what they was talking about. But then a young master burst through the door, and I remember reacting to the Dongwa and being so heated, because I know, as a Renegade Immortal fanboy who have reread it twice, that this never had happened in the novel. I'm all for adding stuff or adapting stuff because it is a Dongwa, you know what I mean? Each episode is going to only be like 20 minutes, so they have to hurry it up, or even shorter than that with some Dongwa, so they have to speed things up. But if you have to remove stuff, fine. Like, if you have to remove the village, okay, cool. But you had to make them live dingy and add a young master that comes in here and smash all their clay sculptures and say they have to pay the rent, like his eye can track everything and he just transmigrated into the village and he's like, yo, the young master came with horses and said, yo, we got 2 weeks in order to give us 20,000 spirit stones. It didn't happen in Renegade Immortal. Oh my god. And to forget all that, they burst through the door, bro, like, what's up? Destroy all their clay sculptures like they didn't care. Wang Lin can't do nothing, bro. Had his mom just begging, screaming, pleaded. Oh my god. Then Unc comes in. Let me this what made me even this is the only, as much as the done what I could watch, because I know what they trying to shove down my throat. They trying to shove down this underdog story, and because they can't pay the rent, he can't take the exams. What? Because they have to pay this young master rent, he can't take the exams. That didn't happen in the novel. They was telling him to study up. They saying, sure. Not here, bro. Not here, bro. Unc come in talking about some, oh, these young masters. If only I could do something. Her dirty dir. What? Do something, twin. In the novel, you would have jacked them up, bro. But they ain't in the novel, that's why. They added the untouchable young master, so Wang Lin has to get strong in order to dominate these guys so they can't pay the spirit stone. Then he's like, yo, fourth uncle like, yo, I got a chance for Wang Lin to become a cultivator. And for some reason, Wang Lin know what cultivation is in this world. But that's, I like that addition, because cultivators should be known. It's kind of weird that Wang Lin didn't know cultivators, even at a young age. I feel like for how cultivators are and how much they can do and how much weight they have in the world, and she being literally built into it, and the world is dominated by cultivators, especially Renegade Immortal. How do they not know about cultivators? Especially for somebody who read a lot. That didn't make sense. So them adding that, okay, that's cool. Wang Lin knew what cultivation was. He was happy. Tell me why his parents wasn't. They was like, oh, cultivators go through dangerous shit. I don't know if Wang Lin should be like that. Wang Lin shouldn't do that. What happened to him? Almost breakdancing in the novel, bro. He was literally lightened up. He aged by 20 years, bro. He turned into a young middle-aged man who could smirk, bro. He looked like Patrick Bateman when he was walking down with the hallway with the headphones. That's how locked in his father was, bro. But no, bro, they changed it. What they doing? They want us to believe this underdog story so bad, when in the novel, the juxtaposition was that Wang Lin had a good life in the Mortal Village. He really didn't need to be a cultivator. He didn't have the potential to even become a cultivator. The only reason why he even had a chance was because when he ran away, because his outer family was making fun of him when he came back and said, yo, I didn't have the potential to become a cultivator. They all switched up on him, besides his mom and his dad, obviously. He ran away. The sect thought that he committed suicide, but Wang Lin, what happened, he's ran away, fell into a cave, and then found a pearl. And then the only reason why he even cultivated was three things. First of all, after that whole situation happened, the Hengyu sect said, you know what? You could be a lower outer disciple, bro. Or I think like he was like a even under outer disciple, and he had to earn his way into an outer disciple, or he just had something under that. I don't know. But he joined the Hengyu sect. The second one, because he wanted to make his parents proud, because he saw how much cultivators and having Wang Lin to become a cultivator meant to them. And third of all, he had the pearl. He was like, you know what? I mean, I have this pearl, and he saw that it was giving cultivation benefits. He was like, why not? I mean, like, at this point, I mean, why not cultivate? It couldn't be that bad, right? And oh yeah, it was bad. Like, that's the whole thing. It was like, dang, that's why he was sipping wine with Situnan. Like, yo, man, I could have been staying in the Mortal Village, man. I could have been chilling, you know, doing clay sculptures like my father. I didn't need to become a cultivator, bro. But look what happened now. Now they trying to feed us this underdog story that Wang Lin want to be a cultivator, but his parents don't want to. Like, it's Swallow Stars. Is I Eat Tomatoes co-writing this? Like, you know, we got the grand collab going on right here, man. If you tell me that, then you know what? I'm gonna delete this video. Guys, listen, besides even Dongwood being trash, I'm gonna get into another. There's some good ones. Don't get me wrong. Thousand Autumn. Swallow Star looks good when you pause it, and then when you press play, it looks like Chat GPT. I look like I'm supposed to press play. I'm like this. Hey yo, why can't I control my? I'm just keeping it. I'm just trying to keep it real, man. I'm just being real. I'm just keeping it real, man. They ruined Renegade Immortal. Renegade Immortal's now in purgatory. I'm deciding where I should rate it now. I know adaptations need to change stuff and remove and add certain things, but this is not the way to do it, bro. This is not the way to do it. And if you had to speed things up, why even add that young master bullshit in the first place? You could have just made Wang Lin staying at home. They don't even talk about the exam for real. Just remove the exam. It don't matter. I guess, just have them talk about some other family shit. But no, they said, you know, let's throw in a young master, make his parents not like it, so that when he become a cultivator, he could face slap, his parents is proud, and his parents die, and then it could be a whole, oh my god, the underdog that become powerful. Renegade Immortal was so poetic, and now they ruined it. I'm done.